Does anyone remember Beautiful Creatures? I need someone to tell me I'm not the only one who absolutely loved this movie growing up. The 2010s was truly an era for the girls and the gays because we had Beautiful Creatures, Warm Bodies, Beastly, Mortal Instruments, The Host. We were eating back then, y'all. I was really eating up all these supernatural romances, so I want to start revisiting all of them one by one, starting with my favorite of the bunch, Beautiful Creatures. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Beautiful Creatures is a 2013 American romantic gothic fantasy film based on the 2009 novel of the same name. It's a young adult drama that focuses on the romance between Ethan Wate and the new enigmatic girl Lena Duchannes in a small southern town. Something interesting about Lena and her family, though, is the fact that they are powerful witches and wizards called casters in this world. Like I said, this movie is based on a novel of the same name, but what I didn't know was that this is part of a series of books called the Caster Chronicles. There's 4 in total, and according to the Wikipedia page, Warner Brothers actually purchased the rights to all 4 in the series, with plans to make each book into a movie. It's just so sad learning about this. They had plans to make each movie, but this first film flopped so bad at the box office, they just scrapped the whole idea. They said, hell nah, we not doing this shit. So here we are, stuck with what I think is one of the coolest YA films of all time, with no sequels or anything. I'm truly sick. I think now that I know there's a series out there about this, I'm gonna go read them after I'm done with this video. I'll just pretend they made a bunch of movies in my head. I kind of hope one day, though, that they come back to the series and revamp it for a newer audience. It also says in the wiki that there was criticism about the film deviating from the original story a little too much, so if they ever do come back to the series, I think they need to keep it more authentic. I hate when studios do that. Don't bother making the film if it's not going to be at least close to the original material. I have no idea how they haven't learned this by now, but I'm getting sick of it, honestly. So a little more background. It's going to be Lena's 16th birthday soon, and as a caster, on her birthday, her true nature will be revealed, and this will determine if she will go down the path of good or evil, light or dark. Some of her family members have a vested interest in trying to get Lena to go dark. Her cousin Ridley and her mother Seraphine, for example. MACON, her uncle, tries to keep her from falling in love with Ethan so he doesn't influence her claiming and get hurt in the process. He is also a dark caster like Ridley and Seraphine, but he's choosing to be light for Lena. Casters are this universe's version of witches. Well, they are witches. They just prefer the term caster. They can do magic, they can change the weather, they can control people, they can turn into someone else, the whole 9 yards. The world itself is really no different from ours, it just adds the caster ability and lore like they've been here from the beginning. For female casters, their 16th birthday is a very important day, and on this day an event called the Claiming takes place where each caster will be chosen to live a life of light or dark depending on her true nature. They each also have tattoos on their hands to count down the days to their claiming. They're quite literally on a timer. By 2025 standards, of course, this is a little primitive of a story. It is a little basic, but in 2013, this was literally perfect. And I feel like they explained the rules of this very simply in a way that's also interesting. Look, I just love this movie, okay? This movie was very, very, very important to me. I felt like I didn't have enough witchy love stories in my life at that time, and I love anything to do with magic, so this was right up my alley. This video is going to be very biased, so be prepared. This film, and I guess the books too, don't quote me on that, I haven't read them, lean very heavily into the themes of family legacy and generational curses. And I mean quite literally, there is a family curse that comes out and tries to push Lena to the evil side so she can take over the world. That's why her claiming on her 16th birthday is so important to the family, because if something goes wrong and Lena goes dark, they're fucked. She's gonna be extremely powerful and they may not be able to stop her if she gets loose. We start off the film with Ethan Wate narrating a dream he's having. He's been having these really strange dreams lately about an unknown girl he hasn't met yet. This serves to set up the story we're about to explore. Ethan is our protagonist who narrates our story. He lives in Gatlin, South Carolina, goes to school, loves to read, loves to draw. He wants to escape the small town life. He feels unfulfilled, stuck in his circumstances. He doesn't know exactly what he wants to do, but he knows he doesn't want to do it here. It's the first day of school. Ethan's a junior now, and he's in the kitchen making breakfast for him and his dad. Ethan's mom passed away the spring before, and his dad has been struggling to cope, so Ethan is kind of picking up the slack. Religion also plays a big role in this movie. Most adults in this town are very religious. We're introduced to Ethan's best friend Link, and his mom is reading to him out of the Bible by their dedicated praying spot. I just find it very funny that in this very religious town, there's a whole community of witches just living their normal lives. So Link drives the boys to school and they start talking about a new girl in their class. Because it's a small town, word travels very quickly, and it's revealed that Old Man Ravenwood, aka MACON Ravenwood, has a niece who's moved in with him. This is the first new Ravenwood anyone has seen in Gatlin in the last 20 years. So Ethan's in class, this cute girl Emily walks up to him, and we learn that this is his ex-girlfriend. They broke up over the summer, I'm guessing due to Ethan's mom passing away, and she's wondering what happened between them. He hasn't talked to her all summer, and she's low-key expecting him to just get over all his issues and get back with her now that the summer is over. She asks him out to a movie, he agrees, and class gets started. As class is going, Lena walks in. Fashionably late, I might add. The teacher struggles to remember her last name, and Emily pipes up and says,
Ravenwood, isn't it?
Lena says, actually it's Duquesne, and Emily has the gall and audacity to say,
Well, now that's an out-and-out lie. I happen to know for a fact that you're MACON Ravenwood's niece.
girl, shut up. Like, so what if I'm his niece? That doesn't mean we share the same name, nor does it mean we have a close relationship where I'd be comfortable using that name for myself, especially considering we know the Ravenwood family has a bad reputation in town. According to another girl, the rumor is that the Ravenwood family are devil worshippers. Like, you honestly think I'm gonna go by that name? Really? But Lena shuts her up.
Well, bless your heart, sugar. You must have been first in your litter.
And Ethan is impressed. He then notices the tattoo on her hand. I mentioned this already, but this is the countdown to her claiming on her 16th birthday. So class ends and Ethan is driving home. Now, what I'm going to say next might be a little nitpicky, but it's fine. We know this is the same day because he's still wearing the same striped shirt. I'm just confused about why he's driving. He didn't drive to school earlier. I could have swore his friend drove to school that day, and the friend is not here, so what's up with that? I didn't notice that until now that I'm like looking at the movie a little deeper and analyzing it. That's a blunder. That is so funny. I recently learned while doing some background acting work that you're supposed to have a person to write down or take pictures of little details like that so the continuity makes sense. I feel like this is kind of a big one to miss because Ethan driving down the road to see Lena's car broken down is the catalyst for their love story. Maybe we can explain it away like he and his friend are so close that they swap driving the same car, but that would honestly be weird. And obviously they don't explain later on why he's driving or what's going on with this. So yeah, this might be a little nitpicky, but you know, I think it was a little funny thing to mention. But continuing on, Ethan almost runs Lena over with his car, and he offers to take her home. He jokes with her about the ending to Titanic, and this is such a cute little scene. Like, inject this into my veins. He is so cute with her. They're driving, he gives her his jacket, and they just have this banter that is so natural.
You cut Emily like a surgeon.
You're just working with the bitch virus.
No cure yet, huh?
Continue to research and hope.
I really do love this writing. The dialogue between these two characters just flows so nicely. She's quick on her feet, he's quick on his feet. The back and forth they have is so cute to me. It's because they're both avid readers, okay? They both love to read. I gotta get my ass back into reading. That's my goal for this year. I feel like I'm getting dumber as the years go by because of my lack of reading. I just wish I had the ability to talk like this. Like, I want to have this quick and engaging back and forth with somebody. I feel like my mind isn't at the level to come up with responses like this, you know? Their conversation in the car goes well, and he's liking her a lot right now. He is falling in love. They make it to Lena's uncle's house, and Ethan suggests walking her up. She refuses and tries to leave, but Ethan is persistent. She refuses again and walks home. That night, we see Ethan reading the same book Lena was reading in the car. This is what we want, gentlemen. Someone to listen and take the things we say seriously. I think this is why I love this movie so much. Ethan is such a good guy, and he likes Lena genuinely. He likes her mind. He respects her opinions. He opens himself up to her. It's not that hard. It's really not that hard. As a kid watching this, I really appreciated seeing this type of love on display. That is something that I wanted for myself, and I feel like I have it now. So seeing this makes me very happy. Time passes, and we see a group of people lined up watching something in the fields. It's revealed that lightning has been striking the same spot next to a tree every night since Lena Duchannes came to town. Emily and her friend Savannah start discussing rumors about Lena and her family. Savannah says she heard Lena came from a mental institution because she killed a boy on some train tracks, and Emily says Lena's mother killed her father and they left town. At this, Ethan yells at Emily to shut up because, period.
Her mother killed her father and then just left town like that.
Shut your mouth, Emily.
Period. That's it. That's all. Ain't no in between. If you want to make excuses for it, that's on you.
But some of it might actually be true. I want to come back to Savannah's story about a boy dying on some train tracks. Now, I hadn't noticed this detail before, but this actually happened to one of Lena's family members. On the night of her claiming, Lena's cousin Ridley, who we will meet later, becomes a dark siren and leads a boy to train tracks where the train runs him over. So while this story didn't happen to Lena specifically, it did happen to someone in the RAVENWOOD family, and I'm so shocked I didn't realize this before. I love this because it tells me that the people of the town know and are uniquely aware that something is very wrong with the RAVENWOOD family. People see the strange and unexplained happenings that go on around them. I feel like this makes the world feel more lived in, so while I think the filmmakers kind of fucked up on the car thing earlier, they make it up with this detail for me. Moving on, after Ethan tells Emily to shut up, she asks to speak with him privately. Which is not really private because they didn't move that far away, but whatever. She basically dumps him. And thank God, because I do not want Emily coming in between my Shaylas, Ethan, and Lena. Emily gets even more annoyed though as she confronts him the next day before class and tells him she still cares for him as a friend. She gets even more annoying when class starts and the teacher tells everyone they're going to discuss the classic novel To Kill a Mockingbird. Emily protests, saying her mom doesn't want her reading quote-unquote banned books, nor does she want her in the same class as a Ravenwood, referring to Lena. Emily really can't help herself but be an annoying little bitch, like, honestly. Emily and Savannah start praying in the middle of class, upsetting Lena and causing a huge burst through the windows.
Save me from this!
Ethan, concerned, goes up to Lena to ask if she's okay, and she leaves. Now, this is the point in the movie where we learn more about Lena and her family. Ethan goes to her house to check on her, and he finds Lena sitting under a tree. And he just sits with her and has a chat. She reveals to him that she's not surprised she's being harassed in school. People hate her wherever she goes. Ethan, being such a force of good in this film, tries to encourage her and tells her not to care about what other people think. Granted, it is easier for him to say that because, like Lena says, he fits in anywhere. He drools charm, so no matter where he goes, he's going to have an easier time being around people and relating to them. So naturally, he's going to not care about how he's perceived because he can mold himself into whoever he needs to be for that person. And that's not to say that it's a bad trait to have, it's just different than Lena. I think she's more the type to stay truer to herself and not change how she's perceived to fit in, so that's why she's more of a lone wolf. A lot of people, even 12 years after this film came out, are still uncomfortable breaking from the mold society places us in. Like, this is a very real thing that people struggle with. They finish their conversation and start walking back to the house when MACON Ravenwood, Lena's uncle, greets them at the front door. Ethan introduces himself, and MACON, remembering Ethan's mother, Lila, invites him inside for tea. They sit down, exchange pleasantries.
Lena, why don't you play something for our guest?
Because we're not in a Jane Austen novel.
And why don't you go make us some tea?
Again, wrong century.
And MACON begins to play the piano. Lena reveals that her uncle is upset because he received a call earlier about the busted windows in class. Lena has been put on suspension until that gets investigated. I mean, she did do it, but at this point in the story, we don't know that she's a witch yet. There's just been inklings about it and little pieces of evidence to suggest that she is a witch, but we don't know for sure yet if you pretend you're watching this for the first time. But they continue talking, and Ethan mentions his mother. MACON reveals that she was an amazing writer and asks if Ethan wants to follow in those footsteps. He doesn't know yet, but he knows for sure he wants to go to college. We see our first use of magic now as MACON put a truth spell on Ethan, and as he's talking about college, he continues with almost a prediction of the life he might lead.
Get 3 DUIs and lose my job, and have an affair on and off with Savannah Snow till I'm 49. The kids will live with their mother after we divorce. And then when I'm 64, I'll hang myself.
Ethan, feeling sick, runs out of the house. MACON closes the door and starts going off on Lena, scolding her about bringing Ethan home, even though it wasn't her fault. He has a rule in place that states no friends. Lena at least wants to pretend to be normal until her birthday, but MACON ain't having it. He tells her that the boy is a danger to her and to not bring Ethan back. We go to Ethan and we see him walking to his car, but something stops him and we see Lena get up from her bed having sensed something. This is the point where we realize that she and Ethan have some sort of telepathic connection. Ethan walks up to her window and signals for her to meet him outside. They meet and Ethan tells her that he's been seeing her in his dreams. He gives her a gift, and it's a locket he found on a run the night before Lena came to town. The locket has the date December 21st, and turns out that is her birthday. He gives it to her, and as he's holding it in her hand, we get a flashback of the 1800s right in the middle of the Civil War. This war comes up in the story a few times. It is an important piece of the puzzle when it comes to the curse that's been put on Lena's family. We'll talk more about that later. After this vision, Ethan wakes up in his own house in bed. Startled, he goes downstairs and talks to Amma, a family friend who's promised to help Ethan's mom's family after her passing. Ethan is dazed and confused, still holding the locket, and Amma, recognizing it, tells him to bury it right where he found it. Am I saying that right? Amma? I think it's Amma. Whoops. But things are getting confusing here, people. We're seeing more characters being involved with this family. We're getting history lore dumps that don't connect yet. Y'all gotta stay with me here. Stay with me. Ethan tries to go visit Lena's house again and gets trapped in a time loop on the pathway in. He starts getting sucked in by vines and Lena comes to save him, revealing that she and her family are casters, which, as we know, is what witches call themselves in this world. This was always my favorite part of the movie. Lena shows Ethan the poetry she collects, and I really wish I had the ability to do this. This is so cool. I have to write stuff down in my phone like a fucking normie. I hate it. But this is where her insecurities come from. She's never been normal. She lives this completely different life than most of the world, and she feels like the odd one out. Ethan tells her she's a miracle, and they kiss. Period. I just love. MACON calls for her, and she sneaks Ethan out the window, with him asking her to go to the movies on Saturday. Moving on from this, we take a trip with Amma, who goes to, I'm guessing, MACON meets her there, and it's revealed that they have a long history together. They talk about what's been going on, but the relationship is very clearly strained. She doesn't trust him for bringing Lena back to Gatlin. MACON tells us that the dark energy Amma has been feeling isn't Lena, it's her mother, Seraphine. I will say, this is a lot of lore being thrown at us at one time. I can understand if this is a bit hard to take in, but Seraphine has been teaching Lena magic for the last year, I think, and there's been quite a bit of issues with this arrangement. It's why Lena has been moved around a lot. Due to these incidents, Lena and Seraphine have not been in contact with one another, and apparently the locket Ethan gave her could be some sort of instrument for Seraphine to get in contact with Lena. Somebody please, in the comments, correct me if I'm wrong about Seraphine teaching Lena. I feel like that's incorrect. I really feel like that's incorrect information. MACON then asks Amma to use her seer powers to see what Seraphine is doing. I will talk about Amma being a seer in a second, just bear with me here, bear with me. We transition to some time later and Ethan and Lena are talking. Ethan gets really hyped up and tells her they should leave town and find themselves out in the real world together. Lena refuses and reveals she'll be claimed on her 16th birthday. She says she might not even be the same person after this claiming. This is where it's revealed that while the men get to choose to be either light or dark, the woman's true nature decides for her when she turns 16. I didn't realize this before, but damn, does the caster society really need to have such misogynistic rules? Like, Lena says MACON is able to choose to be light for her despite him being a dark caster, but that is just so not fair. Why couldn't the rules just be the same for men and women? Why does it always have to be this, oh, this woman is probably gonna lie when choosing her side she wants to be on, so we're just gonna make it so she can't be a lying bitch and her true nature is gonna decide her fate for her. She has no autonomy in this. I do not remember this movie having this rule, actually. Oh my god. Right before this, though, Ridley, Lena's dark caster cousin, returns to town to celebrate Lena turning 16. And when she arrives, the first thing she does is kill a cop. She seems fun. I don't see a problem here. We next see the community gathering in church to discuss Lena. The whole town is scared of her and have come together to sign a petition urging Lena be expelled. Mrs. Lincoln, Ethan's friend's mother, Link's mother, organized this whole thing. She is played by the iconic Emma Thompson, and this lady just up there sounding crazy.
I'm not afraid of you or your evil kind. God, our Creator, will condemn you to hellfire along with terrorists, atheists, homosexuals, Democrats, liberals, socialists, Greenpeace, and all other unnatural abominations.
A whole petition is crazy. I'm sorry. Like, girl, bye. You dragging it. Doing all this to a 15-year-old child is literally insane. MACON attends this meeting and pleads Lena's case. If you've read To Kill a Mockingbird, this is a very nice parallel. MACON eats these people up too. He outs them all as the hypocrites they are. They can sit up here and demonize a little girl just trying to go to school when their closets are full of much worse skeletons, just like a Christian. Emma spews this hate very well. It's almost scary. It's then revealed that Seraphine, Lena's mother, has possessed Mrs. Lincoln and has been manipulating the entire town against Lena to drive her out and back into Seraphine's grasp. I gotta say, this plan is pretty smart. I think it just relies too much on Lena being sent to a small town. Because if this was set in like LA or New York or something, Seraphine would have to get much more creative than that. So, MACON and Seraphine talk, and Seraphine tells us that mortals and casters can't be in love, so Ethan and Lena are doomed to fail. She also tells us that Lena's birthday this year falls on the most powerful solstice in 5,000 years, and more energy is going to be released, making Lena more powerful than her or MACON. Seraphine's whole plan is to use Lena and her power to take over the world. She believes mortals are just parasites that consume and destroy, and they deserve to be eradicated. Now, I can't even say Seraphine is wrong about having that opinion. She's literally right. Human beings are a plague on this earth. I feel so much more strongly about that fact now than I did back in 2013. It's just the way that she wants to go about it is wrong, I think. I think she should stay at the government level and remove the cancer from there. Hurting the worker bees underneath does nothing to get at the root of the problem. I mean, maybe that's just me trying to save my ass, but, you know, can you blame me? Can you blame me? We see Ridley again, and she meets with Ethan to invite him to Lena's house for dinner. She kisses him, implants her siren powers, and they head to Lena's. Ridley is sick, honestly. Everybody's surprised Ridley is there. She wasn't invited, and everybody's very uncomfortable with her coming. There's so much history here, and I just really wish we could have got another movie to explain the dynamics between the family and what happened. They're talking at dinner, and Ridley is talking about how she just wants to be with her family again, quote unquote. And they're all like, well, you were claimed by the dark, and there's nothing we can do for you now. And I'm sat here like, wait a second. Why is it that MACON got to be a dark caster and then choose to be light for Lena and come back into the family? But Ridley can't even be in the family now because she was chosen for the dark, which wasn't her decision to begin with. I just think it's kind of dumb that there's different rules for men and women in this story. I don't know how I didn't realize this before, but damn. But dinner ends with Ridley getting kicked out by Lena and Ethan falling to the floor sick. Before Ridley got kicked out though, she mentioned the curse was going to claim Lena. So not only does Lena have to worry about her true nature being dark on its own, she also has to deal with a family curse that causes the women in their family to fall in love with a mortal, only to have them die and turn the female caster's heart dark. Lena has two forces working against her right now. So, after this fiasco of a dinner, Lena takes care of Ethan in her bedroom and they grow closer. Lena explains to Ethan why Ridley is the way she is, and we see a flashback to the night of her claiming. I already told y'all what happened, but she killed a guy on the train tracks the night she turned dark. Lena worries the same thing will happen to her, but Ethan reassures her that he doesn't believe she can't choose her own fate. The next night, the two go to the movies and they run into Emily, who gives her a snide comment. I don't even care to see this girl no more. I don't care what she has to say at this point, so we're moving on. At the ticket booth, Ethan's friend Link gets mind controlled by Ridley. They make out, but I'm concerned that he is an underage boy kissing up on this girl. I mean, I don't think she's that much older than him, but this still feels really icky. Yikes. So Ethan and Lena are watching the movie and Lena finds the locket in Ethan's pocket. They watch a flashback and we find out that one of Lena's ancestors, Genevieve, created the curse after she brought her dead partner, also a mortal named Ethan Wate, back from the dead. MACON later elaborates on the story and tells us that the spell Genevieve used to bring Ethan back is forbidden and any caster that uses it will be consumed by the darkness. Due to this, she ends up killing him immediately after. So it was a waste of magic. As MACON is explaining all this, he assures Lena that she won't be claimed by the darkness. Her true nature will protect her from this fate, but she has to stay away from Ethan. Lena protests, asking him how he knows splitting them up will break the curse. And I'm just like, did we not watch the flashback? Like, did we not listen to anything MACON said just now? Like, yeah, they don't actually know what exactly is going to break the curse, but the one thing that keeps the curse going is you and Ethan being together. It plays out like a prophecy every single time. So to me, it would make sense to split y'all up. Keeps him out of danger, keeps him from unnecessarily dying, and we can just wait to see what happens on your birthday. Makes sense to me. If this was real life and I'm MACON, right? And I'm so sure that Lena won't be claimed by the dark, I don't see a problem in splitting them up for a week until her birthday passes. It seems like the proper approach. And then when her birthday is done, they can come back together and live out their days in romantic bliss. World saved. Check. Done. Maybe it's just me, but I also feel like they're kind of playing MACON like he's part of all that evilness. Like he's purposefully doing something to keep them apart just because he doesn't like Ethan. But in reality, he's just being protective of his niece. I'm sure he's like this with all his family. He doesn't trust mortals for obvious reasons. He's just doing what he can to save her life. So, they've been split up for a while. It's all very sad. Again, I understand that they want to see each other, but it's only for like another few weeks or something, and then after that, they can have all the time in the world to be together. Mrs. Lincoln, aka Seraphine, goes to visit Ethan at home, and she insults Lena while asking to come in and talk.
It's just that girl with her seductive quirkiness and you being motherless and all.
Ethan's like, no, what the fuck? You insulted my girlfriend. Why the fuck would I let you in? And she starts getting very angry.
But I have made you brownies. I have made you brownies from scratch.
We then find out that Lena bound his house, and I'm guessing it's kind of like no one with magic can come in, maybe? Ethan runs away and drives to Lena's house where her family has Lena bound in the living room. They tell him to leave, but he refuses. Lists off all the bad things that have happened to him because of this relationship, but you know what? I'm still here. Lena's family relents and lets them be together, which I still think is stupid. At this point, they're just allowing the curse to play out, which makes no sense whatsoever. So Ethan and Lena go to Emma at the library. She clearly knows more than she's letting on, since she recognized the locket earlier in the film, and she takes them to the basement where we find another library, this time based on caster history. Down here is a system of tunnels that lead all over the country, with Gatlin being the capital of the caster world. I mentioned this earlier, but Emma is a seer, a more spiritual type of caster, I guess. She's also a keeper in charge of keeping the caster library and their history a secret from mortals. This is the start of our research arc, okay? We're getting deep into the books now, people. Lena, using her powers, is the only one able to read the Book of Moons, a powerful tome that holds the most powerful spells, both good and bad. They leave Lena to it, and over time, the book reveals its secrets to her. She spends weeks looking through this book, finding nothing, and starting to get discouraged. It's a good thing Ethan is on her side. He encourages her every step of the way and doesn't let her give up so easily. They have a fight about this, and Ethan makes a good point.
You want to be a normal human? What do you think that is? We don't have powers to just change things whenever we like. Being human is feeling bad. It's feeling pissed off. It's feeling scared and not being able to do anything about it until you don't feel that way anymore. Until you can just see your way out of it.
Granted, these circumstances are incredibly unique, and most people would not go through what Lena is going through right now, but the message is still correct. And I think this is another reason why I love this movie. It doesn't just incorporate magical elements, it's also very real and very human. And this is definitely a lesson that young people need to learn. Moving on, Ethan and Emma have a conversation and he discovers the truth about his mother's connection to all this. Turns out she and MACON were friends and he loved to bring her to the Castor library to teach her about castors. Ethan suggests MACON loved Lila romantically. I also believe this, but Emma brushes it off and says she has no clue what MACON does or doesn't love. And I mean, it's not that much of a stretch to say that he loved her. And is it that much of a stretch to say the family curse can extend to men too, considering Lila was immortal? Like, it makes sense. MACON himself gave us a little hint that he may have fallen in love with a mortal at one point, so I wouldn't be surprised if it was Ethan's mother, since they were so close. After this, we see Lena doing more research, and she comes across something that really rattles her. She tells Ethan to go home and explains what she saw to Emma. According to the book, there's only one way to break the curse. The one she loves has to die to give back the life that Genevieve created with that forbidden spell. We then transition to Ethan and Lena together. Lena lies to him and tells him all she has to do to break the curse is some ritual every night until the claiming. It makes sense that she lied. I wouldn't tell my boyfriend either. I would want our time before my claiming to just be about us and not worry about this curse shit for a while. And that's exactly what Lena wants. And again, I just have to say the dialogue between Lena and Ethan is genuinely chef's kiss. I love their banter, and I think both of these actors are doing a really good job of selling this romance to us. They feel like they're actually in love, and I just love that. She asks him what he wants for Christmas, and he says he wants snow, and she gives it to him. It's at this point we cut to Ethan waking up in bed. Emma comes over with groceries and asks if Lena is coming over for Christmas. We then find out that Lena erased his memory of her in order to keep him away. I am truly so sick to my stomach. I was sick as a kid watching this, and I'm sick now. I hate that she had to make this decision for his safety. I wish it hadn't come to this, but I understand it. She is not gonna hurt the boy she loves. She's just not doing it. So we're getting closer and closer to the claiming now. We see Ridley driving and she parks in the woods somewhere. She goes to meet with Seraphine at the Duquesne Mausoleum, and we find out that they've been scheming together. Ridley doesn't think the curse will work anymore since Lena gave Ethan up, but Seraphine reassures her that this isn't an issue because Lena still loves him. Seraphine asks Ridley if Ethan's friend Link is ready, and Ridley confirms. We then see Ridley and Link together, and it's discovered that Ridley gave him the power to create a single bullet. Now, I haven't mentioned this yet, but at the beginning of the school year, the kids' teacher instructed them that at the end of the year, they will be participating in a Civil War reenactment event for a portion of their grade, and this singular bullet will unfortunately be important in this Civil War reenactment. And this makes sense because the Civil War was the catalyst for the creation of Lena's family curse, and, a lot of parallels here. So it's the day of the Civil War reenactment. It's also the day of Lena's claiming, so tensions are getting high. Lena's aunt starts the ceremony, and we cut to Link manifesting the bullet for his gun. At the same time, we see Ethan walking around at the ruins where old Ethan died back when the actual Civil War was going on. I'm sick. Of course, this boy has to die where his ancestor died, starting this bullshit curse on both family lines. Ridiculous. I'm upset. Link runs into Ethan, and Ethan suggests they just kill each other and go to his house to watch a movie. Link seems completely unaware that his gun is actually loaded with a real bullet. It's definitely that siren bond he has with Ridley. He probably doesn't even remember seeing her. They line up their guns, count down, and they shoot, hitting Ethan in the heart. Link is standing over him trying to get his attention, and I'm like, dude, you clearly see the blood stain on his shirt. Get some help. I know you seem clueless as to what's going on, but you clearly see your best friend has actually been shot. Jesus Christ. Lena, sensing something wrong, runs to find them. She gets there, and Link is standing there like an idiot, still not getting help. Ridley is also there and tells Lena she can't trust mortals because they turn on each other so easily. That's dumb as fuck because this is your fault, Ridley. If you and Seraphine hadn't interfered like you've been doing, none of this would be happening, to be honest. Seraphine shows up and she welcomes Lena into the darkness, both creating a huge storm to ravage the town. Ethan tells her to stop, and we find out that MACON was disguised as Ethan this whole time. MACON sacrificed himself to help Lena break the curse. Incredible work, beautiful gowns, 10 out of 10. Really knows she fucked up now. She tries to run, but gets stopped by Seraphine, who tells her not to worry. Lena is still on their side, and once the moon appears, she'll be claimed by the darkness. Lena makes the fucking moon disappear. That's my day one, bro. That's my fucking day one, period. Ridley begs for her life like the little bitch she is and asks Lena to let her go, leaving Seraphine to fend for herself. So they get to talking, and Seraphine is trying to convince Lena to let her live so she can teach her how to be the most powerful dark caster ever. She brings up the fact that Lena and Ethan can never be together, and girl, this is not how you plead your case to the person that wants to kill you right now, who very much has the ability to do so. Do not bring up her man in any context. Lena asks if Seraphine ever loved her, and this is her answer.
I don't remember.
Not easy, Pushing another female out of your body, a younger, more perfect version of yourself with every option and no mistakes. Anyhow, that's just a trick of the mind,
Projecting much? This is really so embarrassing for her. I'm sorry. That's such an embarrassing thing to say. But Lena defeats Seraphine pretty easily, might I add, and she mourns her uncle. So we're at the end now. We catch Ethan hitting the library. He goes to talk to Emma, and it's revealed that he's leaving for New York, just like he always wanted. Lena is sitting at one of the tables, and Ethan introduces himself. Now, remember, Lena never reversed the erase memories spell she put on him, so he doesn't know her anymore. He tells her that her poems in their creative writing class are really good and that he's going to New York to check out NYU. They have almost the exact interaction they had when they first met about another book she recommended. Literally just rip my heart out, why don't you? That'll be easier than dealing with this. She tells him to keep it as a getting out of Gatlin present, and they look at each other longingly. He leaves and gets back into the car with Link, who tells Ethan he needs to stop to see his mom for something. I'm just glad he and his mom are both okay after all this and don't remember anything that happened, so they're not too scarred at the end of this experience. As Link drives, Ethan is reading the book Lena gave him, and we see Lena with only one magically colored eye. I think this is the signal that she's embracing both the light and dark sides of herself. I don't know what the light caster's eyes are supposed to look like, but I like this theory just based on everything Lena says during her face-off with Seraphine. Ethan and Link get to the border sign, and Ethan sees that it's been charred. This triggers something in him, and remembering that Lena torched it, he remembers her. And this is where we end the movie, on a fucking cliffhanger. I fucking love this movie so much. This story was great for me. I don't know how other people feel about it, but I love this type of shit. Lena erasing Ethan's memory of her broke my heart so much. I really could not believe it when I first watched this. I legitimately did not know if they were ever going to get back to each other. I haven't read the books, so I literally had to suffer through 20 minutes of them not being together to then be hit with that incredible ending. And then Macon sacrificing himself so Lena and Ethan can be together. Please. Macon promised Ethan's mom that he would look after him. And to do that was so admirable. I wish he didn't have to die, but if that was his promise, then that was his promise. I also enjoyed the idea that Lena could be something in between light and dark, because when she and Seraphine get to fighting, Lena tells her that the world isn't all light and it isn't all dark. So her claiming both of those sides is a nice detail in this story. And it's reflective of regular human philosophy as well, in my opinion. That's what I feel like the core message of this film is. That as humans, we're not all good, we're not all bad. I mean, some people are extremely bad, but that shouldn't be human nature. Human nature can't be placed in such a binary like that. It all depends on the person and their circumstances. And what's in their true nature. Ooh. That's a bar. I don't know what or who the next big bad is going to be in this story. I do want to get into the books now and continue on my own, but I think they did a pretty good job of tying up loose ends and ending storylines in a satisfying way. They did it in such a way that makes sense whether they continued the series or not. If they did continue, this ending is good, but it also works as its own standalone thing. I'm very glad that Lena and Ethan have another chance at being together. Thank God. I think their characters deserve to try again and have a chance at being a normal couple now that the curse has been broken. This story is basically the magical version of Romeo and Juliet, and that will forever have me in a chokehold. I love a good forbidden love story, even though it irritates me so much sometimes. Their fate being destined centuries prior is always such a scary trope too. Like, can you imagine being in this situation and realizing that you didn't actually have any free will in your decisions, and everything you've done in your life led you to this specific moment where someone you love has to die no matter what? That is enough to make people go crazy. I can't even imagine what I'd do. I can't speak in the books, so I'm unsure what themes, storylines, and or characters have been changed for the film, but I did mention at the top of the video that a lot of the audience were upset that the film deviated from the novel a little too much. I do want to start reading the books so I can truly compare and contrast fairly, but my initial opinion, I enjoy the movie a lot. There's aspects of this film that I think work well for what this story is, and it's my perfect little time capsule for when I want to watch something that was important to me growing up. But I do want to thank y'all for watching this video, and please let me know, what did you think about Lena and Ethan's relationship? Did you prefer the book or the movie? And would you have wanted to see the other books made into a movie like originally intended? Let me know what you think about this one, and I will see y'all next time. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment your thoughts down below, hit that notification bell, do all the things. That helps me a lot. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.